You have $10,000 in a savings account right now. You haven't touched it. You haven't done anything wrong. And by the end of this decade, you will have quietly, invisibly lost somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 of it. Not because of a bad investment, not because of a crash, because you did nothing. Here's the part that makes it strange. Your balance won't shrink. You'll look at your account and still see $10,000, maybe a little more. But what that $10,000 can actually buy will have shrunk by roughly 30 to 40%. The number stays the same, the power behind it quietly disappears. The mechanism is called inflation, the slow, steady rise in the cost of everything. Groceries, rent, gas, a car, a doctor's visit, it ticks upward every single day, whether you're paying attention or not. And here's the thing nobody says out loud. We've been taught that not investing is the safe choice. This video is going to show you that doing nothing is actually one of the most expensive financial decisions you can make. It just doesn't look like one because the cost is invisible. But before we get into the math, we need to fix the way most people think about money sitting in a bank, because the mental model almost everyone is using is quietly costing them. When most people say their savings account is safe, what they mean is, I can't lose money here. And they're right, your balance won't go down. But safe has two sides, safe from loss and safe from erosion. A traditional savings account protects you from the first one completely and does almost nothing to protect you from the second. So let's redefine the word risk. Risk isn't just the chance your balance drops. Risk is also the chance your money loses its ability to do things for you. That's where purchasing power comes in. Purchasing power just means what your money can actually buy. A dollar today doesn't buy what a dollar bought 10 years ago. That gap is inflation doing its work. Here's why that gap matters so much. The typical savings account at a big national bank in 2024 pays somewhere between 0.01% and 0.5% interest per year. Inflation has historically averaged around 3% per year over long periods. That means your money is losing roughly 2.5% of its purchasing power every single year. Silently, automatically, without a single notification. Picture it this way. Imagine you're on a moving walkway going backward at 3 miles per hour. Your savings account is moving you forward at half a mile per hour. You feel like you're walking. You're actually sliding backward. This isn't a reason to panic. It's a reason to make one deliberate decision. And that decision is simpler than most people think. To understand why that gap compounds into thousands of dollars over time, you need to understand the engine running underneath all of this. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Think of compounding like a snowball rolling down a hill. The bigger the snowball gets, the more snow it picks up on each rotation. It starts slow, then it accelerates. The key ingredient isn't force, it's time. Compounding isn't a trick, it's just math. You earn a return on your original amount, and then you earn a return on those returns, and then again. Repeat that for decades and the numbers become almost unbelievable. Here's the critical part. Inflation compounds too, and it's compounding against your savings. At 3% inflation per year, prices don't just go up a flat $30 every year on a $1,000 item. After year 1, it's $1,000 item. After year 2, 3% of $1,000 item. The increases stack on top of each other. The hill gets steeper the longer you wait. Meanwhile, a savings account at 0.5% is also compounding, just so slowly it barely moves the needle, let alone keeps up with inflation. Now flip the snowball. Imagine it rolling away from you. That's what inflation does to cash savings that aren't growing fast enough. The hill is time. The longer you wait, the farther the snowball gets. But here's the flip side. Put that snowball on a hill that slopes in your favor and time becomes your biggest asset. That's what a simple, low-cost index fund does. An index fund, which just means a single investment that automatically holds hundreds of companies at once, has historically returned around 7 to 10% per year on average, with the lower end accounting for inflation. So what does this actually look like in dollars? Let's put real numbers on both paths, the savings account and the index fund, starting from the same place over the same time. Start with $10,000 in a traditional savings account earning 0.5% annually. After 10 years, your balance grows to about $10,511. Looks fine on the surface. But inflation running at 3% per year has eroded roughly 26% of your purchasing power over that same decade. In real terms, that $10,511 has the buying power of about $7,800 in the dollars you started with. You have more money, you can buy less with it. The invisible loss is roughly $2,200 in real purchasing power, and that's on the conservative end. Now take that same $10,000 and put it in a basic S&P 500 index fund at a 7% average annual return. After 10 years, you have approximately $19,672. In real inflation-adjusted terms, that's nearly double what you started with. The gap between those two paths after just one decade is roughly $11,800 in real wealth. Now stretch the lens, add $200 a month consistently. In a savings account at 0.5% for 30 years, you end up with about $72,900 in nominal dollars. But in real purchasing power, that number is significantly smaller. Put that same $200 a month into an index fund at 7% for 30 years, and you end up with approximately $227,000. The difference is over $150,000, built from the exact same $200 a month, the same discipline, just a different destination for the money. That $150,000 difference wasn't built by being smarter or working harder or making a complicated investment. It was built by choosing the right container for the same money. Those numbers are powerful on their own, but numbers don't stick the way a real person's story does. So let me show you what this actually looks like in someone's life. Meet Maya. She's 28, works in healthcare administration, and she's genuinely responsible with money. She doesn't overspend, she doesn't carry credit card debt. She has $14,000 sitting in a savings account at her bank, earning 0.4% interest because she was always told, build your emergency fund first, then figure out the rest. So she built the fund and then she just left it there for 5 years. Maya isn't careless. Maya did what most financially responsible people do. She got to safe and stopped. During those 5 years, her balance grew to about $14,280, a gain of $280. But inflation over those 5 years, averaging 3%, eroded roughly 14% of her purchasing power. In real terms, her $14,000 had the spending power of about $12,300 in the dollars she started with. She didn't lose money on paper. She lost nearly $1,700 in real wealth, silently, while she was doing everything else right. Maya didn't find this out from a financial advisor. She found it out by trying to buy a used car. The $14,000 she'd saved wasn't enough for the same car she priced out 5 years earlier. The price had gone up. Her savings had barely moved. That was the moment it became real. What Maya did next was straightforward. She kept 3 months of expenses in her savings account as a true emergency fund. She moved the remaining $10,000 into a Roth IRA invested in a single S&P 500 index fund. 5 years later, that $10,000 had grown to approximately $14,000 in real inflation-adjusted terms, and her total projected gain over 30 years from that one decision, roughly $47,000 more than if she'd left it in savings. Maya didn't do anything exotic. She just stopped treating doing nothing like it was neutral. So if the math is this clear, why don't more people make this move? There's one psychological trap that explains almost everything, and it's sneakier than you'd expect. The trap has a name: loss aversion bias. Our brains are wired to feel the pain of a visible loss about twice as intensely as the pleasure of an equivalent gain. Losing $100 hurts more than finding $100 feels good. Here's why that's dangerous with inflation. The loss is invisible. Your savings account balance doesn't go down. There's no red number, no alert, no notification. The erosion of purchasing power doesn't look like a loss, it looks like stillness. Meanwhile, investing feels risky because when losses happen, they are visible. The balance drops, the number turns red, your brain screams danger. So the brain does the math wrong. Visible risk feels dangerous, invisible risk feels like safety. But the invisible risk is just as real, it just doesn't send you a bill. There's a second layer at work too, called status quo bias. We tend to prefer whatever we're already doing simply because changing it requires effort and feels uncertain. The savings account was set up years ago. It's familiar. Doing nothing is the default, and defaults are sticky. These two biases working together create a situation where the most financially damaging choice, leaving money in a low-yield account indefinitely, feels like the most responsible one. This isn't a character flaw. This is how human brains were built, to avoid visible threats and ignore invisible ones. The good news is that once you can see the invisible threat clearly, the decision becomes a lot easier. So let's make it easy. Here's exactly what to do with your money this week, broken into 3 steps that take less than an hour total. Step 1. Separate your emergency fund from your investment money. This takes about 15 minutes. Your emergency fund is 3 to 6 months of your actual living expenses: rent, food, utilities, transportation. That's it. That's the whole job of this money. It needs to be accessible, not growing aggressively. A high-yield savings account, often called an HYSA, is the right home for this portion. Many online banks currently offer 4 to 5% APY, which actually keeps pace with or slightly beats inflation. Anything above your emergency fund threshold is money that has a better job to do. Log in right now, calculate your monthly expenses, multiply by 3 or 6 if your income is variable, and draw a clear line. This much stays. Everything above it gets put to work. Step 2. Open a tax-advantaged account. This takes 20 to 30 minutes. If your employer offers a 401k with a match, start there first. The match is an immediate 50 to 100% return on that money before it even invests. No investment in the world starts with those odds. If there's no employer match available, or you want an additional account, open a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is a retirement account where you invest after-tax dollars, and everything it earns grows completely tax-free. You pay tax on the seed, not the harvest. The 2024 contribution limit is $7,000 per year, about $583 per month. You don't have to hit the max. Start with what you have. Fidelity, Vanguard, and Schwab all offer no minimum accounts and are solid starting points. Step 3. Choose one simple investment inside that account. This takes about 5 minutes. Don't overthink it. One fund does the job. A total market index fund or S&P 500 index fund, like FSKAX at Fidelity, VTSAX at Vanguard, or SWTSX at Schwab, automatically holds hundreds or thousands of companies. When one company struggles, the others carry it. You're not betting on one horse, you're betting on the entire race. Set up automatic contributions if you can. Even $50 or $100 a month builds the habit and the snowball. You don't need to check it daily. The point is that time does the work. These 3 steps don't require a financial advisor, a large income, or any prior investing knowledge. They require about an hour and the willingness to make one deliberate decision. Now, let's zoom out, because when you actually see what this decision looks like 5 or 10 years from now, the picture is genuinely hard to argue with. Someone who moves $10,000 into an index fund today and adds $200 a month consistently is looking at roughly $27,000 after 5 years, around $55,000 after 10 years, and approximately $162,000 after 20 years. All at a 7% average annual return. Compare that to leaving it in a traditional savings account with the same $200 a month. After 10 years, you'd have about $34,500 in nominal dollars, but in real inflation-adjusted purchasing power, closer to $25,000. The gap after just 10 years is roughly $30,000 in real wealth, from the same income, the same discipline, just a different decision made today. The risk of doing nothing is just as real as the risk of investing. It's just invisible, and now you can see it. You came into this video thinking a savings account was the safe choice. You're leaving it knowing that safe is more complicated than that inflation is a cost, that doing nothing is a decision, and that the gap between where your money sits and where it could be is measured in real dollars that compound every single year in one direction or the other. The only question is which direction you want. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get started. One account, one fund, 1 hour. That's the entire gap between Maya's $14,000 sitting still and her $47,000 working. If this clicked for you, if you're looking at your savings account differently right now, hit subscribe. I put out one video a week on exactly this kind of thing. Clear, practical money education with no fluff and no agenda. And drop a comment below. How much do you currently have sitting in a traditional savings account? I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one.